All right. Welcome to the calendar year end Zoom session. We're going to start off with USPS. For those of you that do not know who I am, my name is Casey Stewart, and I'm out of the Piketon office. Um, and if you have your microphone on, if you don't mind to mute it for me, please, unless you need a question answered, that would be amazing, and I appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Chat box here and pull it up. Okay, we're gonna get started and cover the website here. And this is our website, metasolutions.net. Um, so there's a couple ways to access our page. You can click member resources here at the top and select fiscal. You can select member resources here. The first link, you could also click the three lines up here at the top and go down to Fiscal Services State Software. Um, and that's under Member Resources. So we're going to click on that. This is going to bring you to our Fiscal Services State Software page. First tab, we have just explanation of things that we provide, the services we provide. Stephanie Pierman is our fiscal manager. Ashley Whidbey is our CFO. We have a tab for contact support, so you can submit a ticket via email. Um, take a look at our staff directory. And then we have an upcoming events tab. I will show you all of our scheduled events, our save the dates for our roundtables, and then recurring events for our USAS and USPS roundtables. Second Tuesday of every month, USAS 9, USPS at 1, and all of them are online via Zoom. All right, next tabs are account authorization. Apparently there's an error. Authorizing is not acceptable at this moment, so we'll have to take a look at that. So links and documents. This is, um, oh, I think I just lost my screen here. Not sure what happened. Is it still up on there? There it is. Got it. What is going on with my, hold on a second. I lost my view. Um, all right, there we go. Okay. So this is our links and documents tab. Um, we have state software. Once again, there we go. State software access, you can access USAS by selecting the dropdown and locating your district. We have USPS, inventory, employee self-service, which is ESS, the data collector. We have a link to reset the password to the data collector. We have WebGap login, kiosk logins for Ippy Dippy access currently, which will be sunset December 31st. ESS will now, or I'm sorry, Ippy Dippy will be on the new platform. We have OnBase, RAM, access to EMIS FFE. You can access TeamViewer download. We have a YouTube fiscal services channel that you can click on. And it will bring you to our page that has all of our YouTube videos. We have IRS links. We have other links such as our SSDT documentation, releases, RVice code, so on and so forth. And again, apparently there's an issue with our site, but under documents here at the bottom, this is where you would typically see our folders for roundtable recordings, calendar year end documentation, fiscal year end documentation. So we'll definitely have to figure out what's going on.
Casey,
Yes,
I think you just have to log into your Google account. I think it's just telling you that your Google isn't logged in.
which is odd because I was just on it for our meeting this morning. So I'm not sure why that's doing that. So, all right, well, I'll have to take a look because, like I said, it worked this morning at our in-person. I didn't have to log in because I was already, it already pulled up. So I'm not sure. So I'll have to take a look at that. Thanks, Jen. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute because something's wrong with my Zoom. Technical difficulties. I apologize. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay, so that's our website. So I'm going ahead and jump into the closing checklist here. So you should have the document that states USPS calendar year-end closing checklist for 2025. Here's our table of contents. You can click on these table of contents under the electronic version, and it'll take you to that section. So first off is important dates. So here's a list of all the dates, deadline dates for each of the filings. January 31st is the deadline. So you want to keep those close by so you're aware. Next up, month-end closing. Just kind of review this, not going to cover the checklist, but you can access the checklist by clicking on the Here link, and you can access that checklist that you can follow for month-end. All right. So for month end, you do not want to close December yet, so you want to keep that open. Please don't use this as your checklist. It's just a condensed version. It doesn't have all the details on it. So please use the month-end checklist that's located up here. You'll make sure you want to reconcile your bank statements. You run STRS monthly reports, not required, it's optional. Um, any ACA reporting, any afford reporting. I know some districts run that after every pay. You want to make sure you process your benefit accruals, um, and then process any outstanding payables for every pay and monthly cycle. Then you want to move on to your quarter end closing. It's bigger, so it's easier to see here. Um, so again, you don't want to close December as of yet. We do have the quarter end checklist by clicking on here, the blue link, and then it'll pull up all of your quarter end uh, checklist steps. So once again, this is just the condensed version. Please do not use this as your checklist. You want to run ODJFS, balance it, create your submission file, run quarter report and balance your quarter report. Run your W-2 report, to balance it, which is covered on the preliminary checklist. Verify all of your payables have been paid and balanced for the quarter. You verify your gross balances, so that'd be your total gross on quarter report versus your disbursements. You can run an audit report if anything's not tying out. Audit report will help you identify any changes that were made during the quarter. And then you want to file all your required quarter end submission forms, 941s, ODJFS, cities, things like that. All right. Step one, OPSI report. So anybody that has an OPSI union, you want to go ahead and run this report. OPSI request, calendar or salaries for the year. And so you want to send that off. If you do not have this report, it's located on the reports repository. You can download that and then upload it into your reports manager. Um, to run it, you'll select generate. That's already defaulted to Excel. In the query options tab, you will enter your OPSI payroll item codes. If you have more than one, you can use a comma with no space to enter those, and then generate your report and save it to your files. This does not archive, so that's why you want to run it now to grab your calendar year totals for 25.
That would be another good place to put in that other folder. That would be another good one to put in the other folder.
So to access that report under the reports library, you'll go to reports repository, which is found under the help section. So that is going to be located up here in the top right hand corner. So you'll just select public shared reports library. Oh, session expired. And then click on public share report library. And so this will pull up per pay reports that you can download. In order to download those definitions, you'll just click in this first column, downloadable JSON files. If you want to see an example of it, you'll click on the click here link. And then it'll load, it'll show you what that report looks like. So you have per pay, you have monthly, quarterly, fiscal year end based. You have calendar year end based. And so under calendar year is where your OPSI is going to be located right here. And then you have EMIS related reports as well. So those are located under the public shared USPS reports library. Step 2, print quarter end reports. So this is optional. These will be archived when you close December, but you can run your employee master, which is all the data for each employee, and then your employee earnings register. Again, these will be archived when you close December. Okay. Step 3, December posting period. So if you need to process a January payroll, you can do so by creating January and making it current. You do not have to close December. So do not close December, just keep it open. You'll go into core posting period, click create, and then you'll enter January calendar year 2026. You'll mark the box current, then just hit create, and that will open and make January current. Again, you don't have to close December. It can stay open. And then you process your first payroll, and then you can come back to W-2 processing and calendar year and closing. So at this point, you're ready to process your W-2s. So you'll want to be sure to review the preliminary procedures, preliminary checklists. That was covered in the roundtable in November. So once again, this is just a summary that we have listed here. There's not all the details are listed, so you'll want to open up the preliminary checklist and follow that checklist. So you'll want to make sure that your ODGFS account is created if you don't have that already. This is where you're going to submit your ODGFS submission files. You want to make sure you have your BSO login created so you can upload your W-2 files. Ensure that you have an Ohio Business Gateway login so that you can submit your Ohio files. Make sure RETA and CCA logins are created so that you can submit those files. And then any cities that require electronic submission, you want to make sure that you have logins created for those websites as well. Make sure your pension plans fields are marked correctly. Make sure you verify your RETA and CCA abbreviations and codes within the payroll item configurations. You want to make sure that every employee is flagged as residence or employment for your city tax items. Verify that all your annuities are flagged properly under the payroll item configuration. Make sure W-2 abbreviations are filled out correctly, as well as OSDI district code and W-2 abbreviations. You want to verify RETA and CCA electronic submissions. And then you want to verify your electronic submission and board pickup items associated with your city tax payroll items. So if you have any states other than Ohio, make sure you have those that information updated and added to your payroll item configuration. And legal name reminder. So at this time, when you're going through the preliminary on the employee record, you want to make sure that legal name is filled out correctly. So if you're utilizing that section, make sure that the name is spelled the way it is on the Social Security card. When processing W-2s, it pulls from the legal name area first. And if there's nothing there, then it goes to the name fields at the top of the employee record. One thing I would suggest is going to core and employee. So again, that's core and employee. And under the more options, I would go down to legal name. Which I should have had this in here. I believe that's under. That is under. Where are we at here? Legal name. There you go. So it should be under legal name. Oh, down here, it's at the bottom. So under legal name, you want to bring in last name, first name, middle, and suffix. The reason for this is you want to make sure there's no spaces, no quotations, no random characters in those names, because whatever is in that field will be printed on the W-2. So you don't want to be printing W-2s or going through your W-2 report and notice that there's a quotation in the first name. So that's just an easy way of going through and just double checking that there's no those extra characters located in those fields. Fringe benefits, including life insurance or 50,000, you want to make sure those are set up correctly. The life insurance, if you click on this link, it will take you to the life insurance documentation. We want to make sure employee-sponsored healthcare for W-2 for tracking employee paid premiums outside of payroll is set up correctly. Make sure those adjustments are done. Make sure that that's included on your payroll item configuration, that the checkbox to say that it's employer-sponsored healthcare. And then if you have health reimbursement, make sure that that payroll item configuration is completed correctly. Again, all of this is located on the preliminary checklist. W-2 report and submission. So if you have digital delivery of W-2s implemented on ESS, we recommend that you turn this feature off, you disable it during this time, or notify staff that changes cannot be made for a specific time frame. You want to do this while you're processing W-2s. If you want to know more details regarding the W-2 report and submission program, you can click on this link here. It'll take you to the SSDT documentation. All right. So step 4, we're going to run W-2 report and submission error report.
Speaker just goes out. What the heck?
Sounds like somebody's having speaker issues. I apologize if. Can you hear me? Okay. So you can so I'm gonna cover these steps here and then I'll show you in the instance. So it's under reports, W-2 report and submission, W-2 report options tab. You want to make sure you check all of your ID numbers for accuracy. Fill out your sorting options the way you want them to be sorted. Make sure the report year is correct. And then for this one, you're definitely going to check the report employees with errors only box. You'll generate the report, review all the errors, and correct any fatal errors that are necessary. You may have some warnings. They may not need to be corrected. Just review them, and if they don't need to be addressed, then you can move on. So that's under reports. And then W-2 reports. So again, it's reports, W-2 reports, and then W-2 report and submission. We want to make sure the report option is selected. One thing you can do here is you can do a save and recall. So if you click on the blank space at the top, you can name the report to be saved. I've already done this. So I named it error report. Anytime that you label a report within that blank space, this blue save button will highlight, and that's what you'll click to save all your changes. So again, I've already got this set up so I could go in and select error report, and I don't have to worry about putting in all my options every time I want to run it. And so report PDF, I even labeled it W-2 report error. Just confirm your ID numbers are correct. We are a state and local governmental employer, so you want to make sure S is selected. If you want to, again, you'll select all your options and then just click save up here to do a save and recall. So you can include fringe benefits in box 14. You want to, again, make sure report employees with errors only. If you want to add payroll items into your box 14, you can do so here by selecting them from the drop down and then clicking add. So a maximum of 3 will be printed. You can add more than 3, but the first 3 listed for each employee will pull in. So if you have a payroll item in there such as AAA, maybe not everyone has AAA. AAA will show on those that have it. Those that don't, the next payroll item will be listed. Then you have the ability to run by individual employees, multiple employees, or leave it blank for all employees. You can run by pay group by moving the pay group over to the right, or you can select a tax entity code and only run it for that specific tax entity. So you're going to go ahead and run the report, and you're going to view it for errors. So your errors will be listed right below the employee. Again, you're going to be looking at fatals. You want to correct the fatals. Warnings, again, may or may not need to be corrected. So you just kind of have to review those warnings. If they don't need to be corrected and just need to be identified and noted, then you can just move on. So that is your W-2 report for errors only. Step 5. We're going to run W-2 report submission. You're going to balance and verify your W-2 report this time. Pretty much the same steps. This time you're not going to check the error only, employees with errors only, but the same output type, format, report title. You want to check your numbers for accuracy, your IDs. Again, your kind of employer is S. Your select your sort options. If you want fringe benefits, and again, here you want to make sure the errors only box is unchecked. If you want to add payroll items to box 14, you'll generate and then review your W-2 report. Okay. Again, same process. In this situation, what I would suggest if you don't have a save and recall set up, I would go back to default. If you use most recent, sometimes there may be an issue with the report and not run correctly. And so if you use most recent, it's going to continue to run that report with whatever issue that is. So by selecting default, it sends everything back to the default settings, and then you can go in and make your changes. I want to run by employee name, go ahead and include my box 14. If you want to include any payroll items in box 14, so on and so forth. Selecting employees, pay groups, or tax entity code. And then you'll just generate that report. And then we can go all the way to the bottom. Now keep in mind, there are two summaries in this report. There's an employee type summary. Okay. And then there is a report summary. So you want to make sure you're going to be on the report summary. Employee type summary is your difference between who has Medicare and who does have Medicare. Again, you want to use report summary when you're balancing. Once you're balanced, then you can move on to the next step. We do have documentation out there, SSDT documentation, effects of special situations on W-2 processing. So again, if you have an electronic version of this document, you can click on this link and it'll take you to that page. So it'll cover adoption assistance, cash payment, adoption assistance, section 125, treated as wages, has your cost of life insurance, dependent care. So it just kind of goes through all the different things that affect W-2 reporting. All right. All right. So a reminder on your BSO account, they no longer use just a BSO user ID. You now have to have, you're required to have a Social Security online account, a login.gov, or an ID.me credential to gain access to the BSO application. We have a link here that you can click for additional information. So all users have to obtain a BSO user identification through the registration process. And then you have to enter that BSO user ID in the RA submitter record, which would be included when you enter that into your configuration. So under system configuration, again, under system configuration, and then W-2 configuration. So here's your submitter EIN that you would for BSO. So again, that's under system configuration and then W-2 configuration. All right, step 6, we're going to create and submit federal electronic submission file. Again, your preliminary checklist is going to be where you walk through the process of actually balancing your W-2 in detail. So by this point, you should be, when you run that W-2 report one last time, everything should be, it's kind of like a last check. So you're ready to submit your electronic submission, be located under reports, W-2 report submission, then the W-2 report options tab. You'll select the submission output type. You'll check your accuracy of your numbers, kind of employer, your sorting options, your year. Again, as you can see, we have highlighted in red. We want it to catch your attention, check for accuracy, and fill out the required fields. So your contact information, name, phone number, email address are all required before creating that submission file. Is a file being resubmitted? No. It's in-house and self-prepared. Once you have all that in, then you can generate your file summary report. And then once you review that, you can generate your submission file. Your submission file be saved as a W2 mask.txt. So you want to save that on your computer. If you're going to use, which we highly recommend you run it through AccuAge Online. So when you do that, you want to make sure it's that file is zipped before uploading. And so let me pull that up. So we go to reports, W-2 reports, and then W-2 report submission. So once again, we're going to go to reports, W-2 reports, and then W-2 report and submission. Okay. So on the first tab, W-2 report options, you're going to select submission. Again, for your summary reports, the format's going to be a PDF. We want to make sure that our ID numbers are correct. These ID numbers pull from that W-2 configuration that I just showed you with your submitter EIN. But you always want to confirm because things happen. You get disrupted. Somebody comes in and asks a question. You're trying to click something and start typing and don't realize you didn't click that. And maybe you accidentally type an extra digit in your ID field. I've done it myself. That's the only reason I'm even saying that. So it happens. So you just want to confirm that your ID numbers are correct. Um, Again, make sure everything else is filled in properly. Make sure your contact information is filled in correctly. And when you're ready, then you will come down here to generate SSA W-2 submission file summary report. Okay. And so we're going to open that up. And so this is what that report looks like. Okay. Now I've already generated submission file. I mean, I can generate it again, but I already have it set up in in my downloads. So let me see here. Bring this over here. Downloads. So as you can see, I have w2mass.txt here. Again, to zip, and I'll walk through the steps on the document here, but I'll show you. To zip that file, you're going to right click on it. You're going to select it and right click. And then you're going to select compress to zip file, or if you have 7-zip, I think there's another one, 7-zip, FileZip. If you have a zip program that you can use, you can do that as well. But when you'll select compress to and then zip file, and that will generate this file here, w2mass.zip. And then that's what you're going to use to upload to AccuAge Online. So once you run it through, or once you create the zip folder of that file, you want to verify that your reports were sent to the file archive. So you're going to go to Utilities and then File Archive, and you'll filter by 2025, and then click on the 2025 calendar year reports line. And then we want to verify that these two reports are in there. w2mass.txt and w2report.pdf. So again, that's under Utilities and File Archive. So Utilities and File Archive. All right, under Payroll Archive, this is where you're going to filter by 2025. For some odd reason, when we click the submission file, it didn't do it for 2025. I think there might be something in the settings. So I'm going to actually use 2021 calendar year reports. So you're going to click on, you're going to look for 2025 calendar year reports. For the purposes of this training, I'm going to use 2021. So you're going to click on that. It's going to highlight a preview window will pop up to the right. And as you can see, we have w2mass.txt, w2report.pdf. Those are the two files that we want to confirm in our file archive. Once you've confirmed that, then you'll log into your BSO account. You'll click on report wages to Social Security. You'll click I accept. Then you're going to click on AccuAge Online tab, and then AccuAge Online option. Under the submission type, you're going to click on W2, and then you're going to click on the Start Testing button. If I remember correctly, it's located in the bottom left-hand corner of that little window. Then you're going to locate your w2mass.zip file and then run it through AccuAge to check for any errors. So if you have errors, you'll correct those errors, and then you'll follow that process above again of creating that submission file and then saving it, converting it to a zip file. And then you'll run it through AccuAge again until you no longer have errors. Now, one alert that you will have, so if you have 0 errors, you will show an alert that talks about the employer agent identification number being an exact match to the submitter EIN. That's okay. You're submitting it yourself, so it's going to be the same. So you can ignore this alert and move on. All right. So we're going to upload our W-2 federal file. Once you've got all the errors run through, corrected, everything's good, you'll go back to the home page of the business service online. You'll select report wage option. You'll click on the upload formatted wage file tab. Select submit, resubmit wage file, or I'm sorry, formatted wage file. And then you're going to you're going to click on the new W-2s, W-3s for tax year 2025. Locate your W-2 mass.zip that you just ran through AccuWage and click on the submit option. You want to print out your submission information, and then you can go back in and check occasionally on the status of that submission. Make sure you print your confirmation of submission of it being accepted and the status showing complete when it gets to that point. You could keep this for your BWC audits. All right. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? Do I need to change anything? Tomatoes thrown, whatever. It's okay. All right. So step 7, create and submit Ohio submission file. So we're going to generate the Ohio submission file. This is located under reports, W-2 report and submission, and the W-2 state options tab. So we're going to select Ohio. And again, this is fairly repetitive in each of these tabs. You're going to check for accuracy on your ID numbers. You're going to select the kind of employer, the report year. And again, like I said, as you can see, it's all in red. Check for accuracy, all of this information. Contact information is required, so you'll want to enter that information. It's not being resubmitted. It's in-house, self-prepared. Your submitter EIN will pull from the W-2 configuration located under System. You'll have your submitter ID, user ID from BSO will automatically pull in as well. Then you'll be ready to generate your file summary report. Review that, and then you can generate your submission file. Again, same process as your federal W-2 mass. This will be named W-2 mass underscore oh.txt. You'll save it to your computer. You'll then right click on it and you'll either click send to compressed zip folder, depending on your version of your Windows, or you'll select compress to and then zip file. And once again, if you have your own zip software, you can use that as well. So you'll convert your TXT file into a zip folder in order to upload it to AccuWage online. Okay. So again, your Ohio file can also be run through AccuWage for testing. So let's see here. So under reports, W-2 reports and W-2 report and submission, you're going to be under this W-2 report and submission for a while. Okay. So once we're back here, we're going to click this third tab, W-2 state options. Okay. And we have Ohio selected. Confirm your IDs, ID numbers, kind of employer, year, employer information, contact name, or contact information that's required. As you can see, there are red asterisks next to each of the fields that are required. No in-house program, self-prepared. You have your EIN that gets pulled over and your ID that gets pulled over. So, and I think I said that backwards earlier. I said submitter EIN from BSO. That's your user ID from BSO. So I'm going to correct myself. So when you're ready, you'll just create that summary file. And then it looks similar to the federal. So you just review that, make sure everything looks good, nothing's outrageous. Make sure you don't have negative wages or 3 times the amount of wages that you should have. And then when you're ready, you'll create the Ohio W-2 submission file. And once again, I already have that created. So this is what it's going to look like, W-2 mass underscore OH. And so again, you'll right click, you'll go to compress to zip file or send to compressed file. And then that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be W-2 mass underscore OH.zip. All right. So that's the Ohio. Um, You're going to verify that those are under the file archive, just like the W-2 mast and W-2 report. You're going to go to utilities, file archive. This says 2024. We just ran across that. It's something we laughed about. Our entire team reviewed this document, and none of us noticed that that was the 2024 there. A lot of information to review. So, we're allowed one mishap, I guess. So we have identified that it's been corrected in our original document. We just didn't want to resend it out. When people already probably had it printed. So that is supposed to say 2025. So again, utilities file archive, you'll filter by 2025, click on your 2025 dash, I don't know why that won't highlight, but dash calendar year reports line. And then we're going to want to verify that W2 mass underscore oh.txt is in the archive. So again, here are the steps, same steps as running the W2 mass file. Log into BSO, you'll click on report wages, Social Security. I accept, click AccuWage Online, AccuWage Online option, and then your submission type is going to be W2. Click to start testing, and then locate the W2 mass underscore oh.zip file. Once you got all the errors cleared, then you'll go to Ohio Business Gateway. And I do believe, team, correct me if I'm wrong, that Ohio Business Gateway, you just upload the TXT file, not the zip file. So again, Ohio Business Gateway does not accept the zip file. It accepts the TXT file, so the original file that gets downloaded. All right. So let's see. Okay. Step 8, create and submit other state submission files if applicable. So here are the different requirements for each of the states listed. If you have Indiana, their requirements include payroll item configuration, city tax record for the county tax record, and a payee address with IN as the state. So the payroll item record for those employees for Indiana County tax will need to have a deduction type of R for residents, an Indiana code, and the Indiana W-2 instructions, so Appendix A. So the Indiana code will need to be put into the payroll item code 1 field. Codes are currently 01 through 92. If using 1 through 9, you have to enter the 2-digit, so the leading 0 needs to be included. And for any additional information on that, we have a link here to the Indiana government page. So just like the Ohio submission, for any other submission files, you're going to go through reports, W-2 report submission, W-2 state options. So all the same steps. You're going to select your appropriate state, confirm your ID numbers, your kind of employer, your year. Again, you're checking for accuracy on all this. Is it being resubmitted? No. In-house program, self-prepared, verify your EIN and user ID. Only applies to Indiana is the taxpayer ID and TID location. And then right here, first quarter tax due rounded to the whole dollar. That only affects West Virginia, first, second, third, fourth in total. So when you have all those options filled out, then you'll generate your file summary, review it, generate your submission file, and then it'll be W2 mass underscore the state abbreviation. Okay. So again, the same process as the state. So you'll come up here, you'll select you have Indiana. As you can see, when you select Indiana, it changes the fields. Okay. The file summary report, same setup as federal and Ohio State. It's going except for it's going to give you the numbers for those specific states. So then you have Kentucky. As you can see, again, the fields change. You have Michigan, which stays the same. Pennsylvania changes a little. It gives you a CSV transmittal file. And then West Virginia, as you can see, it changes, and there's all the quarter tax due amounts that you round to the nearest whole dollar. Once you're finished with that, again, we're confirming, lots of confirming. Want to make sure we're not running into issues. Confirming is our best friend. We want to confirm that everything is correct. That way we don't run into an issue later down the road and we're not saying very nice things to the system. So we don't want you to have any stress either. Stress is not good. We deal with stress every day in this job, so we don't want to have any added stress to that. So we're just confirming everything. So we're going to verify and confirm that all of these reports are in our file archive. So again, under utilities, file archive, and then you're going to filter by 2025, select the 2025 calendar year reports line, and confirm that those files are in there if you process those files. Those files are only going to be in there if you're processing them. Okay. So, again, if you're processing, just confirm that they're there. Then you're going to upload any of those files to those appropriate state websites. Step 9. We're going to create and submit some city submission files. So this will be need to be ran for each city that you're submitting electronically. Now, this is only if you're submitting W-2 files to those cities electronically via their website. Once again, pretty much the same process as federal and states. You're going to go to reports, W-2 report submission, W-2 city options. Confirm, and again, there's that word, confirm and check for accuracy. Your ID numbers, kind of employer, your sort options, report year, your employer information, tax entity codes. So the code entered on the payroll item configuration in the tax entity code field, this will be selected from a drop down. So you'll decide to include amounts for all cities, check or uncheck this box based on the city requirements. Do they want to see all cities, or do they just want to see the city that you're submitting for? And again, you'll have to check with that city tax department. Include city name for processing city, check the box. Is this a resubmission? No. Once again, in-house, self-prepared, and then you'll run your file summary report. Again, same situation. It's set up the same as the others, except for this is going to show you the amounts for that specific city. Then you'll create your submission file, and your submission file will come out as W-2, whatever the city is, underscore, then the year. So you'll save that to your desktop, and then you'll upload that to the appropriate city. But first, again, we're going to confirm and verify that we have our files in file archive. So you're going to go to utilities, file archive, and then filter by 2025, calendar year reports. You're probably going to dream about that tonight. Utilities, file archive, that's going to be repetitive. So it'll eventually fade. Don't worry. You're going to verify and confirm that your city file is in the file archive. So once you're done verifying, confirming, you're going to upload those files to the appropriate city websites. So that's going to be under your, again, you're going to be in the reports, W-2 report, W-2 report and submission page the entire time. You're just bouncing back and forth between the tabs at the top. So you're going to be on W-2 city options. Again, you're verifying and confirming all your information. You'll select which city you want to run, and then you'll run that summary, then your city summary and your submission file. All right. If you're printing your city files, you'll want to just review the addendum document, which will be covered Tuesday, December 9th, USAS at 9, USPS at 1. So again, you'll review that addendum document for additional information on printing the city files if you're not submitting electronically. All right, step 10, create and submit CCA, submission file if applicable. Once again, you're going to be under reports, W-2 report and submission, W-2 report options. You're going to select the submission, check for accuracy. Again, it's in red to help you identify that, hey, we need to check this and make sure everything's correct. Required information is the contact information, name, phone number, and email address. It's not being resubmitted, in-house and self-prepared. And then you're going to run your file summary report, as well as your file city summary report. And then lastly, your submission file. The submission file is going to be labeled W2 mstcca.txt. Okay, you're going to save that to your desktop to be uploaded later to the CCA website. And again, utilities, file archive, filter by 2025 calendar year reports, and verify that the W2 mstcca.txt file is located in your file archive. So what that's going to look like is you're going to go to the W2 report options tab. Again, you're going to select submission, make sure everything's entered correctly. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to see CCA W2 city summary, file summary report, and then your submission file. Okay. And then here's the link to the CCA tax site to upload your file. Any questions so far? Okay. Step 11, you're going to create and submit RETA submission file. Again, similar steps, similar options. It's going to be on your W2 report option along with your CCA. You're going to select submission, check for accuracy, make sure your employer information is correct. Again, just a repetitive. It's the same thing over and over. You just want to make sure everything's correct. You don't want to run into an issue later. You'll run your summary report, your city summary report, and then your submission file. So your submission file is the file naming convention is going to be w2mstreta.txt. Once you've ran that, then you're going to go to utilities, file archive, filter by 2025, select 2025 calendar year reports, and confirm that your RETA file is in fact in file archive. Once you've confirmed that, then you'll just go to retaohio.com, log into your account, upload the file, and complete your Form 17. So again, we're going to be on W2 report options tab. Make sure submission is selected. Enter in all your information if it's not already there. And then down here, you're going to run RETA W2 submission file city summary, the file summary, and your submission file. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just open up the RETA website just to kind of give you an idea what it looks like. You can find, I believe it's under tax rates. Yep. So over here on the left-hand side, you're going to locate tax rates, and then that'll give you the RETA code as well as the tax rate. That way you can confirm what they are. You'll click on 2025 since 2026 is already available. So 2025, and you'll just scroll through, find your city, locate the code, make sure it's entered into your payroll item configuration record correctly. Okay. All right, so now you're ready to review the USPS checklist addendum for printing your W-2 mailable forms. This document's going to cover archiving, print tips, folder sealer, creating your employer copies, how to archive them, creating city print files, how to archive those, as well as archiving the individual W-2 forms for third-party software. So that would be for ESS, I believe SC View pulls that in as well. I know one thing, questions I've gotten in the past, and including this year, hey, I went out to my W-2 archive and under utilities and file archive, and I'm not seeing certain years. It's because you forgot to archive them. Not the end of the world. You can go back and re-archive them. But that what is why they wouldn't be showing up in your W-2 archive. So definitely important to review that checklist and follow each of the steps. So step 12, run the year-to-date report. This is optional. You can run it, select a sort option, enter the calendar year, enter the different criteria you want, um, and generate the report. I don't recommend printing this. It's a pretty large document, um, unless you need a doorstop or I don't know. Maybe you just want to chuck it at someone, whichever. But it's definitely a large document. So, um, and this does run in the archive when you close calendar year, puts it in the file archive as well. All right, step 13. We're going to close the December posting period. So if you made January current to process the January payroll, you want to make sure that you make December current, okay, before you go closing, because if it's not current and you close December, it's going to run all your January numbers for December. So you want to get a core posting period. So green means it's current. Okay? When the check mark in the circle is not available and it's faded out, that means it's current. To make something current or make a posting period, just say something, make a posting period current, you would click the check mark in the circle and then it would turn green. So you definitely want to make sure that December is green as well as the current column says true. So you want to do that before you close it. Once you make it current, then you can close it by selecting the bolded folder, which is right here. It's not showing as open. If you hover over it, it says close. So you'll click on that to close it. Now, be patient. It's something may not happen right away. It's thinking. They should see a blue line of death at the top. It'll start flashing when it gets closer. The more you click it, the longer it's going to take. I said this morning, it's like telling my teenage daughters to clean their room multiple times, and then it just never happens. It just kind of fizzles out, and sometimes just breaks down. Might be some crying, some arguing, some yelling. So just be patient until you see a cross that says, hey, December posting period is closed. So, all right. So when you close December, it will generate those month-end, quarter-end, and calendar-end reports under File Archive. So that takes us into step 14, verifying. Once again, there's that word verifying, confirming, make sure everything's there. We don't want stress later. So you go to Utilities File Archive, filter by 2025. You should see 2025-monthly reports row, and you'll click on it, and it should list those reports there. So you want to confirm that those 5 reports are listed under monthly. And then you'll go down to calendar year, and you want to make sure those reports are listed. There's 6 of those there. And then you'll move down to quarterly. So you want to confirm that those 6 are in the quarterly folder as well. Once that sigh of relief has taken place, because they're all located in there, then you can go ahead and make January current. Okay. Don't make January current until you've confirmed every single one of those reports are in there. If you make January current before all those reports are in there, wherever the system is at the time of creating reports, and you make January current, those reports are going to finish out using January numbers. So if you only have one payroll, it's only going to show one payroll's worth of numbers for December reports. So again, make sure all those reports are listed before making January current. Okay. If you haven't previously created January, then at that point, once all those reports are confirmed, then you can create January and make it current. All right. So big and bold. Again, we want to alleviate stress down the road. So have you submitted all of your electronic files? W-2s or federal, state, all your other states, cities, CCA, RETA, ODJFS. Okay, if you have not submitted those, go ahead and submit those now. We don't want to wait till the last minute. You don't want to wait till January 28th and then there'll be a problem and then you can't get your files uploaded until past the deadline. So go ahead and upload those now. Okay. And you want to ensure that you file all your taxes that are required and any additional steps that your district may have. Not every district's the same. You may have additional things that you have to file that's not going to be included on this documentation because not everyone does it. So just make sure that you follow all the steps necessary for your taxes that need to be uploaded, any forms that need to be filed. January 31st is the deadline for W-2 using the BSO account. If it falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or a legal holiday, it'll be the next business day. January 31st is also the deadline to distribute your W-2 forms. So if you haven't distributed by January 31st, you'll know. Employees will let you know, hey, I haven't got my W-2 yet. Someone will help you remember. So again, don't want to wait till last minute filing your electronic files. Some additional submittal information, IT 941, which is the Ohio Employers Annual Reconciliation of Income Tax Withheld, should be completed online for the quarter. So for those districts that file online for the quarter, you don't need to submit the 941. You won't get a coupon from the state to send in. If you don't use the online service, then you'll receive a coupon and this form, or receive the coupon and the form will be due by January 31st. IT 942 is to be used as a fourth quarter and annual reconciliation form for the entire year. All right, OSDI. So you're required to send an annual reconciliation using SD 141, but you're also not required to send copies with that. You can file the reconciliation form electronically through Ohio Business Gateway, and submitting your electronic submission file to the state will report the employee withholding amounts for OSDI. City of Columbus, IT 13 reconciliation of quarterly returns must be mailed or submitted online. So there's the website to submit that online. So if you have specific city submissions listed here, you'll be sure to send your annual reconciliation form. It's like a W-3 type form directly to that city. And that city should provide you with that form. RETA. So you'll log into the RETA site. You'll want to submit your Form 17 directly to RETA. CCA. So each district has to submit the annual reconciliation form directly to CCA. Again, for RETA and CCA, those websites are located here. So we will be having printing trainings for the roundtable Tuesday, December 9th. So that's this upcoming Tuesday. USAS 1099 printing will be at 9. USPS W-2 printing will be at 1, both via Zoom. So please plan on attending those Zoom meetings. So congratulations, 2025 calendar year end has been completed. As stated before, this document may not cover all of your district specific filings for local, state, and federal reporting. So make sure you add those to this checklist. Some reminders for 2026 city and OSDI updates. So if you have city and school district tax rate changes, be sure to use the mass load option to load those for all your employees. Maybe you only have a few employees. You don't have to use mass load. You can just go in and manually change those. Calendars be a good time to start job calendars, specifically for your admin people. If you did calendars for July through June fiscal year 26, but maybe you didn't do July, make sure you get July 2026 done. That way, when you go to process payroll in July, you're not missing days off their calendar. I have had some districts forget to do that, and they called in a panic, and I had to calm them down and say, it's just because you don't have days in your calendar, so we can fix that. So again, be sure to that you definitely add days to July for anyone working in July. Additional Medicare tax for all of you 200,000 plus salaried individuals. There is a 0.9% Medicare tax, and the system does calculate that for you. If you have a PhD and you understand those calculations, you can view that on that link right there. It's definitely a nice little calculation to try to understand. But the system does do that for you. Correcting W-2 forms. If you need to correct W-2 forms, please contact us, and we can help you do that. There are two options. You can do it in the system. Benefits of using the system is everything's in there. It takes a little bit more time. There's a few extra steps to do it in the system in the USPS, but it will be in there for later date if you need to reprint and the W2C and so on. So that is the benefit of doing it in the system. The second option, which is super easy, there's less steps involved, is through the BSO online. You can enter all that information super quick, print off the W2C, and you're done. Problem is, once you're done, it's not in redesign. So those are the different options for doing corrections for W-2s. So here's some details on how to correct them. There's an IRS link there that you can bring up a PDF that'll give you some information on that. All right, last thing, 2026 overtime information. Beginning in 2026, with the first pay, we highly recommend that you stop using miscellaneous pay to enter overtime pay. With the new Big Beautiful Bill Act and the no tax on the overtime for the 12.5, you want to make sure that you're reporting overtime using the overtime pay type. So again, you want to stop using the miscellaneous pay type and start using overtime pay type. So that's all I have. Any questions? Can you touch on the new pay type blended OT? So beginning in 2026, they will have a blended OT pay type that you can use. We'll send more information out as we get that. We don't have all the information right now, so I don't want to speak too much on it and provide incorrect information and cause undue stress and anxiety.
Hey, Casey, for the blended overtime, that pay type, I believe, is available to them now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to go to the SSDT's payroll payments, future or current
Gotcha.
documentation, either one, they show an example of the blended overtime
Okay,
pay
perfect.
type.
Let's see. Okay. All right. So here, this pay type is used to pay the 0.5, the half overtime to employees that are paid on multiple positions that have different rates, be included in FLSA reporting. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. So here's the calculation. Job 1, 30 hours at that rate, 15 at that rate, 30 times 20, 15 times. So this breaks down the blended rate calculation and how you would enter it. I will put this link in the chat, but here's a closer look to that documentation and that screenshot for future pay amount. So I'll put that, let me see. Pay fields. All right, there we go. That's what I want. Okay, so here is, I'm gonna put this in there's the link to that. All right, so maybe need to add a double time pay type as there are times we pay double time. Yeah, that may be something we can send up. Maybe they already have that. Maybe they've had that discussion. Not sure, but we can send that up. So let's see. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Is it that pay title will direct it to the W2 next year? Yes, the blended, I believe so. Again, we don't have all the information yet, so we'll send that out as soon as we receive it. So, see, where's the information, please? So I put the link in there. Does overtime need to be reported for? No, it's just like Jen said. Thanks, Jen. No, business as usual for 2025. And so, yeah, and OT needs to be reported starting in 2026. Correct. So, um, so yeah, again, that's just all the information we have right now. As soon as we get it, we will definitely send it on to everyone, um, and let you know as soon as we know. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, boos? Don't put him on there again. Anything? It's whatever is necessary. So, okay. That's all I have. I appreciate everyone tuning in and listening, and I hope you learned at least one thing today.